What's in a name? Well, it's exactly the question tonight as news that the Obama administration is rewriting national security strategy, possibly eliminating phrases like Islamic radicalism and war on terror from its pages. Was a Christmas Day underwear bomber a violent extremist rather than a terrorist? How about the Chechen suicide bombers who killed and maimed dozens in the Moscow subway last month? Are they violent extremists? The Pentagon says the new NSS document is still a work in progress, but the question remains, are they trying not to offend terrorists? Can softening the language we use in the war on terror, or whatever they want to call it, actually endanger us? Let's ask FoxNews.com contributor Andrea Tantaros and radio talk show host Leslie Marshall joining us from L.A. Leslie, I'm going to start with you right now. Listen, if they're radical, they're extreme, and they happen to be Muslim, I can't call them a Muslim extremist?
Well, do we call Timothy McVeigh a Christian extremist? Have we called those who wanted to kill police officers and then go to the funeral of police officers and kill the police officers attending the funeral Christian extremists? The bottom line here is I think we can all agree a terrorist has an agenda to murder. They're murderers, they're terrorists, they're extremists. You cannot claim to be any religion, for no religion believes in murder. Every religion believes that murder, taking another life, is wrong. All religions. So if you want to offend the fastest growing religion throughout the world,
Leslie,
go ahead.
We are at war with these terrorists, are we not? I don't think we're at war with people in Michigan who happen to, have a whacked out idea of what's going to bring them attention.
We're at war with terrorism, and that is within our borders and throughout the world. We're not just at war with radical, which everyone else has been calling Islamic terrorists. We're at war with any terrorist organization, even within our own borders, regardless of what religion they claim to have a part of and their perverted idea of that religion.
All right, Andrea, is this political correctness gone amok?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, look, the terrorists have declared war on us. I don't know why we're so shy to acknowledge that. I mean, look, Obama views this as a law enforcement issue. And saying that, trying to compare, Leslie, that we did not call them radical Christians and we did not reference anyone's Christian religion is just absurd. The mainstream media constantly references that militia group last week was Christian, that the Westboro Baptist Church was Christian. Yet I looked back to look at the stories with the underpants bomber, and not once would the mainstream media mention that he's a Muslim. Now, this is a strategy of appeasement.
That is not true.
Barack Obama, it is true. Barack Obama does not want to offend the Muslim population.
I can show you.
And let me tell you something. I was in a Muslim country in Morocco when he gave his speech to the Arab world in Cairo. And they said, he can use whatever words he wants. But at the end of the day, Muslims view this through the prism of Israel and what happens with the Palestinians. That's all they care about. They are laughing at us when we employ these very soft words and we Mirandize terrorists. We look like fools.
Go ahead, Leslie.
Well, I no disrespect to you. However, having been as a visitor very briefly in one Muslim country, that to me is ridiculous. I have lived in 3 Muslim countries in the world, not a visitor for a day or a week or for a speech. And first of all, you can't take you can, which people do, but it's very discriminatory, to take a paintbrush and have a broad sweeping generalization of an entire group of people who, although there's one religion, there are different sects. There's Sunni, there's Shia, just as examples of that. And then when you break that down further, there are different cultures and backgrounds. A Saudi Arabian Muslim thinks very differently than a Jordanian Muslim thinks very differently than Egyptian,
Pakistani, Leslie? At the end of the day, radical Islamic jihadism exists. So you can sit there and yammer all you want. I've been to more than one Muslim country than that.
Do you even know what you're saying?
I've been to more than one. Well, you don't. I've been to more than one country than that, Leslie. And at the end of the day, forget what the Obama administration is talking about with words. Look at their actions. They Mirandized the underwear bomber. They have decided to let Holder run roughshod and prosecute former Bush CIA administration officials.
Let's take this. And hold on, Leslie, are we sending the wrong signal to terrorists? We're trying to, be all politically correct, and we're soft on terror?
We want them to like us.
No, terrorists, first of all, terrorists don't really care if you talk to any terrorism expert from any organization what message we're sending. If you want to talk about political correctness. Terrorists have an agenda, and terrorists are going to set out to reach their goal period, regardless of what message we send. The message we're sending is not to the terrorists. It's to countries we want to work with us to rid their countries and the world of terror. It's called mutual respect. It's called we respect you, you respect us. Let's work together to make this a safer world.
So you're saying we're offending the people in the countries that these terrorists come from?
That aren't terrorists.
Who, well, if they are or not.
When people call me an angry Swede, I get so
Terrorists
angry.
come from every country. They're a terrorist in this country, they're terrorists in Spain, etc. Terrorists are not just in Muslim countries, and terrorists are not just Muslim, period.
I think she just made my point. Look, it doesn't matter what we call them.
No.
They're still going to attack us. So at the end of the day, we should acknowledge it for what it is.
That is
Radical
not true. That is not
Islamic
true.
jihadism.
Maybe if we look at the reason they're attacking us and be preventative in the future, as we could have been prior to September 11th,
the reason they're
wouldn't
attacking
attack
us, there is no rationale for that. They hate us, and us being
depends on
nice
which
to them
group you're
doesn't
talking
matter.
to.
And us.
And how many terrorist organizations have you been in contact with that told you that?
Us disarming our nuclear weapons, us taking this weak stance, us prosecuting CIA administration officials, all of it. Mirandizing terrorists and treating it as a law enforcement
CIA is not being prosecuted. You may forget that Barack Obama, the president, said he would not do that.
You guys are awesome, fair and balanced, and a great debate. Andrea Tantaros, Leslie Marshall, great to have you on.
Good to be here.
Thanks, Sarah.